Karl Jacobs may have been in the same room as somebody who said a gamer word. For this absolute crime against humanity, I think it's time to write a stern letter on Twitter.
I just want to make it clear that I've never once used tryhard in a way where it was meant to be racist.
Cancel culture! Look, I'm not going to explain what it is. I mean, we all know by this point. If you've been on the internet recently, you may know that two specific individuals faced the wrath of cancel culture in the past couple of days. Minecraft YouTuber and one of Mr. Beast's good friends, Karl Jacobs, and a member of Offline TV, that one YouTube group with Pokimane and some other people, Disguised Toast. Both of these individuals did respond to this dreaded cancellation, but the way they responded, let's just say it highlights both sides of cancel culture. If you want to join a community of people who watch my videos, be sure to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. If you want to watch me play some video games, or if you just want to see some stupid memes, have a look at my Twitch and have a look at my second channel. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see some more stuff like this from me, be sure to subscribe. And if you're really feeling generous, become a member, like these wonderful individuals. Before we get into the whole both sides stuff, of course we have to understand the context behind these cancellations. Don't worry though, I am going to keep this as brief as possible, mainly because if I was to go into it very deeply, we'd be here for about 10 billion years. Firstly, Karl. Now Karl, he used to like a controversial Twitch streamer known as Ice Poseidon a few years ago. The thing with Ice though is that he doesn't really have the best reputation. Because Karl Jacobs committed the unforgivable sin of liking another content creator, of course, cancel culture decided by Karl merely liking Ice Poseidon a few years ago, no, this is the worst thing ever committed by a human being in the existence of humanity ever. Twitter, it was fuming. So Karl decided that the best way to quell this hate was to bend over backwards and apologize for the crime of liking somebody.
I am sorry that I've upset people.
Since this is a stupid thing to apologize for, Karl, he's been put on blast recently by quite a few people, but more on that in a little bit. The Disguised Toast stuff is quite a bit more interesting. Now, Toast, cancel culture decided that his humor is a bit too edgy for them. You know, he's a little bit too based and red-pilled. So much so that they decided to, like usual, blow up the entire issue on Twitter. What did Toast do in response though? Did he bend over backwards and let cancel culture walk all over him? No. He did the exact opposite actually. He actually doubled down on his humor and clarified that these jokes, they're jokes. I told you that summary was going to be brief. I think it's time we delve into both sides of cancel culture. The Karl Jacobs Disguised Toast cancellations highlight two completely different sides of cancel culture. To truly highlight both sides of this spectrum, I made this quick diagram. As you can see by this brilliant piece of statistical art, I have perfectly encapsulated both sides of the argument. Firstly, we're gonna have a look at this side. On the left-hand side sits Karl Jacobs, a man who decided that he isn't allowed to have any free will whatsoever. Because if the hive mind declares that they don't like somebody, well then of course you have to bend over backwards and show the world you have no backbone whatsoever and apologize, ruining your dignity in the process. Look, all joking aside, Karl Jacobs' apology highlights the bad side of cancel culture and the effects it can have. This side of cancel culture is vindictive, petty, and filled with way too many people with way too much time to spare. Because this situation sounds just so damn weird, of course skepticism filled my mind. What were the true intentions behind this cancellation? Were the people cancelling Karl Jacobs genuinely upset with him for liking somebody in his past? Or did they want to find a reason, any reason whatsoever, to cancel him for the sole reason of him being popular. We have to keep in mind that something like this has probably happened in the past, and that people who may not even be fans of Karl Jacobs, they may just want to cancel him for the sake of cancelling somebody. Maybe the people who first cancelled him made it as a joke or a bait to see what cancel culture would do. If this is the case, well, then they achieved their goal, didn't they? If I'm being brutally honest here, I reckon that this apology is not even sincere. All it is Karl saving face in order to aid his career, because if he didn't, well then the wrath of cancel culture will just continue. The Karl Jacobs side of this absolutely brilliant graph is filled with people who don't really have any backbone whatsoever. It's filled with people who would rather give in to the hive mind and educate themselves instead of viewing the situation for what it is, a very petty one, and then acting accordingly. The best way for Karl to respond to this is to either say, yeah, you know, I was a fan of this guy, but I'm not really a fan of him anymore, or to just say nothing at all. Though I am pretty sure that all of these lot know that they have to keep their stands happy, because if they don't, the toxic community that they created, they'll just abandon them. The result of Karl's "I have to keep my stands happy at all costs" attitude means that people who aren't his stands are going to absolutely tear him to pieces. And wouldn't you have guessed it, this is exactly what's been happening. The aftermath of Karl's apology has been nothing more than sheer comedic gold, and a side of valid criticism. Karl Jacobs has ruined quite a bit of his social standing, and as a friend of mine JD7 put it,
but this not only goes out to Karl Jacobs, this goes to all the other Minecraft YouTubers, because you have created, nobody else by the way, created a fan base where you let 12-year-olds dictate your future, and they go diving deep into your past and they look for anything you might have said in the past to try and bring you up on it. How you enjoy that, I don't know.
The right hand side of this diagram is known as the "I don't really care what you think, stay mad lol" side. This is where disguised Toast resides. This side is not really concerned with what other people think of their jokes, because jokes, they're jokes. The people on this side don't really care about what you think about them and have the attitude of, well, if you don't like my content, don't watch it. If you take anything away from this highly educational video in graph, please know that this is the side that you should be on. Of course, this side is incredibly hindered by the Karl Jacobs side of the spectrum, mainly because that side gives into cancel culture, therefore feeding it and making it evolve, making the people who cancel people feel that their words carry more weight than they actually do. So since this is the case, when somebody like Toast responds in the way that he did, of course the cancel culture brood will collectively have their hive minds implode. Since Toast responded in this way, I was actually quite intrigued to see what would happen afterwards. Mainly because people who have done this in the past have been met with fire and brimstone. Instead of massive backlash though, no, it appears that more people are on this side of the spectrum than I thought. Massive creators came out and sided with Toast, and I know this is going to sound a little bit poncy, they unified against cancel culture. Since this is the case, it's going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen to cancel culture moving forward. Are more creators going to stand up against cancel culture, or is this going to be a once-off? Are the majority of creators just going to go back to giving in to the hive mind, or are they going to actually start seeing reason? Now, I hate to sound like a little bit of a pessimist, but I think this is going to be a once-off. The sheer amount of people who are on the Karl side of the spectrum add so much more fuel to the cancel culture fire, so much so that in order to save a little bit of face, they're willing to sell their own backbone down a river. Since this is the case, I think cancel culture, it's only going to continue and get even stronger, though I do hope that I'm wrong. I hope that more and more people come to realize that cancel culture, it's incredibly toxic and doesn't really do any good. Mainly because if cancel culture was so obsessed with taking down bad people, Why isn't there more talk surrounding people like these? I mean, EDP, he's making his own website for God's sake. With all that being said though, I would really like to hear your opinions on cancel culture in the comments below. What do you guys think of the way Karl and Toast responded? Be sure to leave a comment. Damn, I'm actually ending this video with a proper outro. I hope you lot enjoyed this video and I'll be sure to see you in the next one.